Good morning, everyone, and a warm word of welcome to our What If webinar today, or a How To webinar. It's about ditching to-do lists. Right at the up front again, this is not a training session. It's a becoming awareness session. This is not. It's not possible for me to take you click by click or step by step exactly the how to do this. But I'd like you to become aware and think on, and for you to consider the possibilities of ditching your to-do list and replacing it with some other stuff. So here we go. And please, we're not on cameras and so today, as you know, and your preference was to interact like this. Hello, Hilton. Hello, Lucas. Hello, Ludi and Elwin, Alex, Van Spey, Rudolf and Linda and Jan Mokke and Lionel. There we go. Okay. So warm welcome. Duncan, you will check the chat for us, please. So let's get going. What's in a name? A to-do list. I don't like that name to begin with, because for me, what it means is I have now to do certain things. I have to do certain things. So a simple change for me, and I will make the recording available afterwards as well, so you're more than welcome to have a look at that. I might even upload the PDF for you and send that to you as well. Okay, so what's in a name? To-do list. I change one word and I call it my to-choose list. Now, what that does is immediately it takes me from a victim, like I have to do certain things, to somebody that's in control, from reactive to proactive. So I don't have to react to what's on my list. Yes, I put it there, but if I have a to-choose list, that just makes a difference in my head, and that's where the things happen, isn't it? What's in a name? I love this analogy of water. And if you start at the top right-hand corner, water can exist in ice, going clockwise, liquid, or steam, or gas. Now, ice is like control, and it takes energy out of the environment to keep ice ice. Liquid is more, it's like the liquid is liquid. If you leave ice outside, it becomes liquid. If steam is like chaos, it's just random, and it also returns to liquid if you just let it condense. Now, here's an important thing. If you are in control, in other words, if you are a to-do list fanatic, for me, that's control. It's not necessarily right or wrong. It's just my perspective on that. There's a Plimsoll line. You can't see the words very clearly, but there's a Plimsoll line. If you start, and let's say this is the direction of increasing control, you have more and more and more and more control. Then you cross the Plimsoll line, and like a boat tops over, you will top over, and you'll top over into chaos. There are many examples in the world where governments control and control and control, and then it goes to chaos. So my thought here is that moving from a to-do list to a to-choose list is almost going from control to order. So that's what I would like you to think about today. Now, what are some of the challenges and limitations of traditional to-do lists? And you're more than welcome to, in the chat, just give me your comments as well. What you experience as limitations or a challenge of a traditional to-do list. The one is it can be overwhelming. Your list can grow without you wanting to grow. The second thing is there's a sense of failure when you use a digital planner, and the tasks that you should have been done by a certain date haven't been done by a certain date. They turn into red, and that's just done. Okay, Lucas says carryover. Good. What else is a challenge and a limitation? Not in the diary. Yes, Steve, if it's not in the diary, it doesn't happen, eh? To quote David Allen from his great book, Getting Things Done, the diary is like the hard landscape, it happens. So I'm happy to pick up on your comments in the chat. What are possible challenges or limitations of it to do that? Feeling controlled by the list, unnecessary pressure. The list grows and grows and grows and grows. Just for those of you who have a form of a to-do list, just type in the chat, please. It doesn't have to be exact. This is not rocket science. How many items do you think you currently have on your so-called to-do list? Whatever that is, on a list to do. Just type a number, if it's 1 or 10 or 20 or too many or whatever. Just type a number that we get an idea of how many you have. Okay, Annalise, about 10, 77, 6, 20, about 15, 17, too many, 10, great stuff. And let me put your mind at ease. For me anyway, that doesn't matter. How many items on your list? That is immaterial. You don't have to feel bad about that. 1,000, Anna Marie. Doesn't matter. The question is, what are you going to do with it? Only 3. Lekker, Marietta. Lekker. 94, Steve. Oh, Steve, I love your accuracy there. 94. Okay, another limitation is it can sometimes hinder creativity and spontaneity. Because why? We're in this list, we're in this ice, and we are controlled. And we feel that our list controls us. Only ever 10. Okay, here we go. So those are some of the challenges and limitations. Now, in yellow, I made it stand out a little bit. If you are happy, pardon me, if you are happy with this situation, then of course stick to your to-do list. There's nothing wrong with that. These are the consequences or potential consequences, limitations, or challenges. If you're okay with that, then fine, don't change anything. Because whenever we want to change something, it takes some time and some effort and can in itself cause some stress. So, to quote a famous song, I don't think all of you will be old enough or of enough years behind you in your life to recognize this jingle, but maybe you can. I won't use the name. You can stay as you are for the rest of your life, or you can change to new ways of being productive. Hey, 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 hey. There you go. Some of you know that tune. Okay. It's amazing, eh? And it was so many, many, many years ago. And there you go. But you can really, if you're happy with these situations in your life, stay as you are. Don't change. But if you do want a different outcome, why not consider, and I'll talk a little bit in more detail about each of these. And just to restate that today is not a training session. It's an awareness session. And later on today, I will just flash a little poll for you. And if you'd like me to get in touch with you to talk about this, deliver a talk for you about this topic in your company, let's talk about that. So awareness today, awareness and choice. That's what life is about, awareness and choice. So become aware of these things, and then you can choose whether you want to stay as you are or whether you want to change. It's easy as that. Let's talk about flexibility and adaptability. That's the one thing that is, I think, is really important. Oh, I once got nailed for putting this comment in one of my Monday notes. I wrote, I just like it. Blessed are the flexible, for they shall not be bent out of shape. I like that, and I got a firewall of an email coming back and say, "Hey, you're not an ordained priest. How can you bless people?" Anyway, blessed are the flexible, for they shall not be bent out of shape. Ashraf, if you do the same thing the same way, exactly the same way. So here are some possibilities for you to become aware of and consider. And for me, for my own head, I need to become very clear about the difference between adaptability and flexibility. They are the same and also not the same. Adaptability is when there's a big change. Flexibility is in your current situation where unexpected things happen, to be flexible and to adapt to that. Let me just give some examples, because this is, I think, important. AI is a new and different situation. You have to adapt to that. Getting married is a new and different situation that you have to adapt to. Getting divorced is a new and different situation that we need to adapt to. I don't think that's flexibility, that's adaptability. The world around us has changed. Adapt or die. On the other, so for that, for example, telephone communication, from the old slingerphone up to today's smartphone. We had to adapt to each of these. You can't use the same way of communicating with people today than we used 60 years ago. It just doesn't work. But within the smartphone environment, within the smartphone technology, we need to be flexible to unexpected changes in the circumstances. Like, hey, I will log on tomorrow morning and I've got a new operating system. It doesn't quite work like that, but that's flexibility. So I hope adaptability and flexibility, the difference is clear for you. If you have any questions about that, just pop it into the chat or into the Q&A. Good, let's continue. Flexibility, on the other hand, is the ability to navigate unexpected circumstances. Now, here's why I really make this point about being flexible. Just type in the chat, please, your response to this question. When last in your life did your day work out 100% as planned? When last, how long ago did your day work out exactly, but like 100% as planned? The word never seems to be popular. Great, never, never, never. So far, never, never, never. We're in never land today. Okay, so if this is true, and it seems to be true that the day never works out exactly the way we planned it, does that not require us to be flexible? And then be flexible to changes. Does that make sense? Yes or no? The day changes, the day doesn't work out. We need to be flexible and adapt. We in the day, we adapted to the day, but we need to be flexible. Thanks, Barry. Yeah, Cindy, that's in school probably. And even that, 100%. Okay. So Vestal, we absolutely have to be flexible. Without flexibility, we cannot date. And I'll give you an illustration in a moment. Good. How about trying something different? So let's try something different. We've now talked about flexibility and adaptability. I have a flexible approach. But I want to preempt a little bit. To be flexible in your calendar, you must have what? Open space. Back-to-back meetings are not allowed. And make a note somewhere in your life on a piece of paper. No more back-to-back meetings. It just kills productivity. It doesn't work. And one of our clients, let me just interject with this. One of our clients did a calculation of how much time they wasted, that is the right word, how much time got wasted in their company when just waiting for people to arrive at a meeting. So it's 10 o'clock, meeting is supposed to start, we're expecting 20 people, there are 10 people on the call. Let's just wait a few minutes for the others to arrive. You know how much time they wasted? Time worth 10 million rand in 1 year. That calls, pardon me, I think for a different approach. And by the way, that is why we start our webinars and our sessions like at a funny time, like 11:07. If this started at 11 o'clock, half of you probably wouldn't have been here when we started. So we give a little bit of time, and we also end a few minutes before. Okay, great stuff. Barry, open space, open mind. Good. Time to think. Great stuff. So here's a couple of things that you may want to consider. Intuition, rather than a to-do list. A to-do list, remember, is like ice. It's control. Intuition, I think, is more flexible. Now, you can increase or tap into your intuition by raising your self-awareness, by reflection and introspection. Think about your life. Think about you. Do a little of introspection. Practice mindfulness. There's a lot being said about that. I'm not going to talk about that. But present moment awareness. Where you are. That's the important thing. Not where you were an hour ago or where you are going to be an hour from now. I think a rigid, traditional to-do list almost ignores changes in context. If you have your to-do list in your hand, and by the way, thank you so much for the feedback you gave me about what you like about to-do lists and what you don't like about to-do lists. I've got like 3 or 4 pages of feedback, and I will work with that, and I will send you a summary of that. But the traditional to-do list, let's say this is my traditional to-do list. It doesn't care whether I'm at home or whether at the office. This tells me do this and do it now. All of these things want to be done immediately. Thank you, Barry, for that. Intuition comes from presence and mindfulness. Great stuff. Maybe we'll do a webinar about that one day. Okay, so listen to your gut feelings. I'll talk about that a little bit more just now, and get feedback from people you trust. So if you trust Barry or Rosie or anybody, just ask them and let them help you understand yourself a little bit better. Okay, so that's tapping in your intuition. I'll get back to that. I love this idea. And if you haven't bought this book yet, get it. The Courage to Be Disliked. It doesn't mean be a dislikable person. It's just the subtitle actually does it for me. How to free yourself from a traditional to-do list. How to free yourself, change your life, and achieve real happiness. The format is between a philosopher and a young man. And the one chapter that I would like to refer specifically to is about planning. And you see, on this is the essence. Do not treat life as a straight line, because life is not a straight line. Life is a series of dots. So let's live life as a series of moments. In the moment, Barry? There is no destination. The dance is the outcome. The dance is the destination. The process is the outcome. Experiencing your day is the outcome. Not arriving at 5 o'clock and ticking off your to-do list and say, oh, I've done all these things today. Well done, Gerrit. No. Living the day is the process. Living the day is the outcome. I hope that makes sense to you. So live as if you're dancing. Work as if you're dancing. Things change. Okay. So I hope you're okay with that. Live as if you're dancing. Do you like that idea? Just type the word dance in the chat if you liked what I just shared with you. And again, the book that you may want to get is the courage to be disliked. Just type dance in the chat if you like this idea of life is not a straight, rigid, straight line. Life is a series of dots, and let's dance as if we're on the dots. Okay, dance, dance, dance. Walter, dance. Lucas, dance. Great. Love it. Action and movement. Yeah, thanks, Marietta. I like that. It's action and movement. Lekker Renee, let's dance. We should have maybe a a how-to webinar about dancing as well and how it can liberate you. Okay, next topic. How about in the moment decision making? Rather than let your to-do list guide you all the time, let where you are guide you all the time. And thanks for David Allen once again in his fantastic book called Getting Things Done. Ask yourself 4 questions. And the first one is, where am I? Am I at home? Am I on the beach? Am I in Kirstenbosch? Am I in an aeroplane? That's a big, big, big disqualifier. Doesn't matter what you have on your to-do list to do today. If number 1 on your to-do list is buy bread and you're not in the shop, you cannot take that action. So yes, maybe have a list of things. But the first question you ask is, where am I? Duncan, what is that? I'm trying to figure out your icon. Do you have a question? Oh, great stuff. Just a question. Yes, there will be a recording. Within the next couple of hours, I will send you an email with a recording. Oh, Zelda, a man dancing. Maybe we should have it. Anyway, question 1 is, where am I? You can only do things where you are. Second question is, how much time do I have? If I'm at my desk and I have 10 minutes or 10 hours at my disposal, I will choose different things to do. Next one, what's my energy like? You see, this is the intuitive decision making. What's my energy like? High energy, low energy. At the desk, with 10 minutes at my disposal, if my energy is low, I'll do something. If my energy is high, I'll do something different. Does not matter what the sequence in my to-do list is. And then fourthly, what are my current priorities? I know the word priorities is a bit of a misnomer. We could actually only have one priority, but let's not talk about that right now. So what are your guiding lights at the moment? I'm at my desk. I have 10 minutes. I feel pumped. And my current priorities, I can quickly review them and then be guided in this moment, in this space where I am, to make a choice. Not driven by a to-do list, but driven by my intuition, driven by my gut feeling. I hope that makes sense to you. Just type a capital C for context, or make a 4. Just type the number 4. If these 4 questions make sense to you, to ask these questions: where am I? How much time? What's my energy? And what are my priorities? Those are your guidelines. Right, there we go. 4. Keyboards in South Africa suffer from a serious problem. I will report this to the Department of IT that everybody is stuck on 4. Okay, good. Another thing that you may want to consider, you see, this is another how-to or a think about. Trellis planning. I mentioned back-to-back meetings. The opposite of that, or the contrarian view then of trellis of back-to-back meetings, is trellis planning. So what I mean by that? That's a trellis that you can see on the picture at the moment, and it's not solid because you leave space between the framework, in the framework. So when you plan your day, do not capital, bold, underline, flashing, red, do not allow back-to-back meetings. You may even want to schedule a half an hour in the morning, every hour, or you may have an agreement in your company. No meetings start at 5 past the hour and they end at 5 to the hour, and then there's an hour of no meetings and then another hour available, etc. Leave space. How does that work? So when you leave space, the day can grow. The week can grow. There's some natural stuff in your life that wants to happen. But if you're living in an ice block, it can't happen. So create some order for you. And this is order. There's structure and flexibility. So trellis planning, I recommend. So your diary, your calendar could then rather look like this than full of back-to-back meetings. Great. Another new thing that you may want to consider is, and I realize we're slightly over time, I'll take about another 3 minutes or so. Batch processing. Don't live in your inbox. Treat your inbox like a post box at the post office. You go there, you take out the batch of stuff and you process that. Do the same to your email. How about saying no? I'd like to see in the chat. if you have difficulty to saying no, if it's hard for you to say no, just type the word no in the chat, and I will look at that afterwards. Every time you say yes to something, you're also saying no to something else. So if you say yes, 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 what happens to your to-do list? It grows, grows, grows. And every time you say yes for something on your to-do list, you could be saying no to something that is more valuable. And by the way, that's another idea of thinking about planning value. Don't plan your time, plan your value, plan your impact. Have impact thinking when you schedule your day, not time, not how long. Great. So we're at the end of our conversation now. So I would like to ask you, and I'm just putting a poll should come up on your screen now. I don't know if it's sliding in or whether it's filling your whole screen. But if you'd like us to chat more about this topic of today, and maybe do something for your team or your department or your company. As I mentioned, some of your clients really like doing a brown bag lunch, which is an informal gathering of people and not a formal thing. And then we can talk about that. So if you'd like me to just get in touch with you and we can have a short chat by phone or by email, just let me know. And I would like to get in touch with you. Thank you for the yes pleases. Thank you for the no thankses. Thanks, and thanks for the maybe laters. Okay, great stuff. So once you've selected your poll, you can then just go back to the chat. Good, that's it. That's me for today. And the question is, if you will take action, would you like to do something? Just answer the poll. If you would like to send me an email, you have my email address on screen, gerrit@prps.co.za. And you can then just, in the subject line, you can have ditch. And then I will know that you are wanting to chat to me about the ditch. Thanks, Marianne. Yeah, and I hope you found some value in today. Again, not the step-by-step approach, not the click here, click there, but just awareness. Hey. If I'm happy with my stressed out life at the moment, if I'm happy to be driven by my to-do list, then it's fine. Carry on what you're doing. If you'd like to consider some changes, do some of the things that we discussed today. Okay, baie dankie, Gustav. Thank you, Barry. And just in the chat, let me know, if you wouldn't mind, a 1, a 2, or a 3. For those of you not familiar with the scale, how much value did you take away from today? A 1, no value. I should not have been here. It was a waste of my time. Number 2, yeah, I got some value. Number 3, happy with I was here. I got some good value to go and chew on, at least to consider. 1, 2, or 3. 1, no value. 2, some value. And 3, good value. So I will have a look at this. And Duncan, 3.5, that's very biased, but thank you, Duncan. Okay, thank you for your feedback. I really appreciate that. The recording will be available later on. And yeah, I was going to ask you whether, yeah, I will make a link available to today's presentation as well. Maybe you want to use that for your team if you want to. Thank you, Selina, for your honest feedback there. Lovely to have all of you here. And yeah, in 2 weeks' time or so, we will have another contrarian topic to discuss. And it seems that the idea is you like the idea. So we will do that thing. Okay, thanks, everyone. Have fun in the sun and make a lot of money if that is part of your life mission to generate some income. Thanks, Hilton. Nice seeing you here. If you're watching the recording, thanks for doing so. And you can use the poll in the recording as well. You can respond to that if you'd like to let me know. Yeah, you can always also use the emojis at the bottom to let me know. Okay, thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of the day and have a lot of fun and be fun-ductive. Bye.